Holy shit. I have been slinging pies all day, baking pies, slinging pies, and Views from the Six, or sorry, Views, because it's just Views now, has been out for like 24 hours, barely. Listen, I've listened to this album 8 fucking times already. I'm ready to review it. I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready to make this video. Drake. Views. Let's fucking, talk about it. Drake. Drizzy. The Six God himself. Do I need to fucking say anything about Drake at this point? Is there anyone who's watching this video who's like, I like this guy's album reviews. Not really sure who Drake is, but I'll give this one a shot. No, you know who Drake is. This is the new album. It was the most hyped thing since last week's most hyped thing with Lemonade. This album comes right after what I think is Drake's best album, which was actually the mixtape. If you're reading this, it's too late. It's not a fucking mixtape, okay? He tries to pull that bullshit with like, oh, it's a commercially released mixtape. Just like, I don't know, fuck off. It's an album, and it's your best one. I thought Drake sounded better than ever on that album. I thought his verses, his rapping was significantly better than on any of his previous projects. I did really grow to like Nothing Was the Same after that album came out. Some of my friends were like super into Drake, and I got sucked into it, and now I'm fucking here. In a sense, in terms of my appreciation for Drake, you could say I started from the bottom, and now I'm here. So originally we were actually supposed to get this in 2015. And my whole theory about that is that when Drake put out If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, he wasn't expecting it to be this massive thing that it ended up being and have his most recognizable and best hooks and verses in terms of the audience perception. So I think originally the plan was to release Views in 2015, and then that became this huge sensation, so it was kind of postponed. We got a lot of singles. We got the Hotline Bling single. We got the diss tracks, that whole beef with Meek Mill, all that shit. And finally, it's here, this 20 fucking song album, Views. I do wish it was still called Views from the Six. I mean, I know why it isn't, having heard the album very many times now. But, the Views has just kind of been like the meme. I mean, Drake is kind of like the meme king. Everything Drake does is a fucking meme. But Views is kind of the meme version of what this album was gonna be, and then that ended up just being the title. So now in this musical age that we live in now, where all of these hyped artists are releasing all these giant fucking hyped albums, people just want to know right off the bat, is this great? Is it awesome? Does it live up to the hype? No. I don't think it lives up to the hype. I don't think it lives up to the bar that was set by If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. I just don't. I think the lyrical content here is significantly weaker and often laughably bad. And there are some tracks that are just flat out not good. I've reacted to a couple of those on this channel that I could get into the beat, I could get into the groove of the song, but they just don't really resonate. Those songs are still on this album. However, and I say this having heard the album once and thinking, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm super disappointed. Listening to it all the times after that, I've grown to appreciate a lot about this album. There are a lot of really, really, really good songs here. And yeah, it's disappointing, but it's by no means bad. And the main reason for that is the fucking production. I'll go as far as to say this probably has the best production on any Drake album. This is some of the best production I've heard on a pop or hip-hop album in my life. Of course, 40 is kind of like the big notable producer here, and he's done some really terrific work on this album, for sure. But all of the producing, all of the instrumental work here is just absolutely remarkable. There are some just fucking incredible drum machines and keyboards and synths in this album that just, they create an atmosphere, and they do it so well they make songs that don't have too much substance to them very easy to listen to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in a day and not get bored of. That's how good the music backing Drake is here. Views kicks off terrifically. And it's actually one of the better moments for Drake, and not just the production. It's the song Keep the Family Close. It starts with these like big, clear, emphatic drums. Just a really terrific introduction to kind of like the sound palette that makes up Views. These glorious, imposing horns. And it's backing Drake singing pretty well. This story about not being as close to his family as he should be, and not being able to rely on them in times when he's really struggling. It's better disguised on this track than it is at other points in the album, for sure. Drake generally sounds really great on this song, but it is a recurring issue that the auto-tune is just bad. To compare it to other people who use auto-tune, I'm not totally against auto-tune. Kanye West is a person who uses a shit ton of auto-tune when he feels like it. And the difference between what Kanye does with auto-tune and what Drake is doing with auto-tune on Views is that when Kanye's doing it, he's using it as an instrument. It enhances the vocal track. It's not there to just correct a wrong pitch or hitting a wrong note. It's there to be an effect and an instrument. In the case of Drake, in the case of Views, it is there to cover up lackluster vocal delivery. The issue with the auto-tune did become less significant to me the more and more I listened to it, because the melodies and the hooks in general are really solid. So once I kind of got into the flow of this album and was used to hearing these songs, it didn't bother me as much, but it's definitely something that lowers what this could have been. I would rather you sing a little off key and not quite hit exactly what you're going for and sound like a person singing, especially when the whole point of delivering these like crooning crazy vocals is that it's supposed to be super personal and vulnerable in the way that Drake tries to be. When you're doing that and then you throw auto-tune over it, it removes the personal element. It feels too overproduced. And honestly, the production itself that I've praised a lot really outshines Drake, to the point where when I'm thinking about a lot of these songs, I'm just thinking about the beats and the instrumentals, and less so the compelling lyrical content that Drake brings to the table. I thought he brought way more of that on If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. And the stuff here kind of feels a little bit like an afterthought. That's not to say this is without its good lyrical moments. It has those. And beyond that, it has something that I really like. And I think it'll divide a lot of people from either really liking this album or really not liking this album, which is, if you love like the corny Drakeisms, there are plenty of those to go around here, and they're great. The most famous one, the one that I'm sure is like in a billion Vine captions and Instagram captions and tweets and Snapchats and all of it, is the line about, not fighting with him at Cheesecake Factory because he loves to go there, in the song Child's Play, which is an awesome song, and that line is so corny. It's so fucking cheesy. But what can I say? I love it. When Drake uses a blatantly corny, blatantly cheesy little phrase, a little verse like that, to me, that rings as sincere, because we've come to know that as a part of Drake, and I love that stuff. Again, I know a lot of people don't like stuff like that. If you do, there's plenty of that here. To go back to the auto-tune for a second, because there's one specific moment in a song that I want to bring up that kind of irritates me the most with that, which is in the song Redemption. It's a song that I've come to like a lot more than when I initially heard it, but there's that part in the song where he's like, I'm searching for these words, and does this crazy little run, and it's auto-tuned, and it's just, it's really distracting and not good. Other moments on this album I'm really not having, the song Faithful. Despite opening with this great posthumous verse from Pimp C, this turns into borderline garbage. I don't want to say it's just trash, because there are things that I do like about this song, but it's just like a typical sexy R&B song, and that little vocal fucking hook, the faithful, 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 so cheesy, so cringy, and not in the good way. It's in the sappy way, where he's not even trying to be a little lighthearted or funny. It's just like faithful, 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 faithful. In this song about being faithful to his partner, it's just like, all right. Controlla. No. There was that weird little like Jamaican vocal moment at a certain point in the song where you think the beat is gonna change up and it sounds like it's gonna be really cool, but then no, it's just back to this boring fucking dance tune. The flip side of that is One Dance, which, since I initially reacted to it, actually has grown on me. It's a total earworm of a song, and I find myself singing it throughout the day. I need a one dance. It's goofy. It's not great, but it's a really catchy song. I'm fine with it being a hit. When it comes on the radio, I don't really listen to radio because I have fucking title, motherfuckers. Pay for it. Do it. Listen to music. Listen to albums. But on the rare occasion that I do listen to the radio and I hear that come on, it's fine. The sample is just so good on this song, and that beat breakdown at the end is fucking prime. I think Pop Style is somewhat improved from the version that he initially released. I actually think Kanye's verse that he cut is better than anything Drake is spitting on this. But something about the singular vision of it and the singular storytelling of it makes it a little less annoying, and that fucking random 2-second Jay-Z appearance is gone. That was so weird. Why was that there? And I know I'm gonna be really alone in this comment, but I could not give less of a fuck about the song Grammys. I wasn't the biggest What a Time to Be Alive guy. I thought, similar to Future's last album, DS2, which a lot of people love too, I thought it started well and had a couple really cool songs, but kind of just faded into me not really caring. And this song could have been on either one of those projects, I think. It's about Grammys. Future's appearance here, like, I don't really care about it. I'm sorry. And finally, a song that I don't mind, actually, but just has some dumb shit about it that I want to talk about for a second, is the song 9. Great track transition from the first song into this one, but what Drake is singing and rapping about here is so beyond me. I really don't understand what this song is about. This is not a thematically consistent album in general, but this song specifically is just all over the place, and there's very little tie to bring this song together, except for the really dumb hook that I can't get over how stupid this is. The whole, like, arc of this song is him saying, turn the 6 upside down, it's a 9 now. For what reason? I don't know. Can you tell me? I mean, I guess, you know, there's talk of him making different life decisions and turning a new leaf or something, but, like, turn the 6 upside down, it's a 9 now? Like, this 6 thing has gone way too fucking far if that's what we're doing. And Drake keeps talking about how he would die for his fame and recognition and for the city. Why? Drake, no one is asking you to do that. And what? What do you mean you would die for it? What are you dying for? I don't understand what his struggle is here that he's rapping against. It's so confusing. I don't know what this song is fucking about. I mean, the element of him dying for his fame and his place in the rap game is kind of interesting. I don't know if he really understands that it's kind of depressing because, you know, he's so afraid of his history that he's supposedly celebrating on this album. I don't know if that's a factor in his thinking when writing a song like this, or if he just thinks it's badass to say he'll die for it and he'll try for it. For what? We don't know. I don't know. It's weird. The song has a really cool beat. There's kind of like these lean-soaked synths that just reverberate into this like chilling silence, and that's cool. But it's such a weird fucking song, and the 6 thing, turn the 6 upside down, it's a 9 now. Jesus fucking Christ. Now, for the most part, I'm done shitting on it. I'm done shitting on the things I want to shit on, because I want to talk about the stuff that I love. There's a terrific DMX sample at the beginning of the song You With Me that leads into one of the best instrumentals here. Drake really starts belting some shit out and getting some real energy into this thing when the album is desperate for it at the point that this song is playing. When he starts saying like, you know, a lot of people, they cut checks so they could take his flow, and he's like screaming this line. And you genuinely do feel that passion. It's a really great moment. It brings life into it. It gets you into this album experience. There's a beautiful string outro in the song too. It almost sounds like there's like a hidden James Blake vocal that's kind of playing in the background as the song ends. Feel No Ways, my god, that song. The production is so fucking fantastic. You know, like, weirdly, what this album reminded me a little of is an album from this year also, by the band Porches, called Pool. Check that album out. It's better than this. I didn't say that. It is, though. Very similar instrumentals, actually, weirdly enough. But just fantastic, crisp drum machines. I fucking love the keyboard sound on this song. It's just... It's like right up near that level of like a Hold On, We're Going Home. One of the better hooks on the album, too. Does it need the auto-tune? No. But it's there. What am I going to do about it? Like, just don't do it or go for it. You know, like, go further with it. I'm not advocating that Drake make a fucking Lil Yachty song or something. Please, God, Drake, do not do that. No. Don't anyone do that, you Lil Yachty. Dude, more great horns at the end of this song, too. Seems to be kind of like a unifying aspect of the very few that run throughout. Some really nice horns. Finally, after this point in the album where we've been getting a lot of these like mid-tempo, like mid-beat, like the sexy R&B songs, finally the banger comes. Hype. It's called fucking Hype. So it does kind of come out of nowhere, honestly. I don't think it's like this whoa, holy shit moment that I think it was intended to be, kind of in contrast with the songs leading up to it. But, you know, at least it's a change of pace. You need that in an album that's 20 songs long and almost an hour and a half long. It's a solid tune. I'm sure it's going to be fucking awesome to see live with him in future. I love his, like, breathy, braggadocious vocals over this thing. I cannot give you the recipe. This instrumental almost does sound like it's ripped right out of DS2, almost. So that's kind of the part that's also a little bit of a weird contrast with the instrumentals I've been talking about. But... you know, that's what he wanted to do, so he did it. He's the 6th god. Weston Road Flows is a great track. I do have to say, though, was there really a point where Drake couldn't afford pizza? At one point in the song, too, he actually says, "What are those?" and then chuckles after it. Is he like referencing that internet meme trend thing? God, Drake is like the epitome of the internet age rapper. He's fucking referencing "What are those?" Again, that's the type of corny Drake shit that I love. I totally commend that. This song really resonates with me in a way that a song like You and the Six did to me on If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. It's very nostalgic. It's very personal. It is that come-up song, kind of, but not like the come-up, but just kind of like his history, his past, his family. Redemption, I mentioned before, has really grown on me. It's a great tune. Again, I'm not totally in love with that auto-tune. Really not in love with it. There is that moment, though, where Drake is like, "I'll kill somebody if they give you problems." No, you won't, Drake. That line would work well in, like, If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, when you're putting on this, like hard, like, rap persona, like, I'm gonna fucking beef with you, I'll fucking fight you. You get bodied by a singing N-word. I can't say that. That was actually in back-to-back, but, Same shit. This was the same persona that he was putting on. It works there, doesn't work here. I really like the song With You, featuring Party Next Door. I really like the song he did on If You're Reading This with him too. I think this one is even better. They work really well in tandem together, and with Party Next Door and the auto-tune going crazy, having Drake's with that makes it a little less obnoxious and kind of flow together nicely. And the song Still Here, Drake is trying to bring back dog, like calling people dog for some reason. I don't know why he's doing that. It has a pretty slight, but definitely still like bumping beat. You can get down to it for sure. It's one of the simpler, like more minimalist songs here, which is a big element of what made If You're Reading This, It's Too Late a really fucking awesome, hard-hitting album. I don't think it reaches the level of most of the songs on there, but it's a good song, and it has some really clever wordplay too. A lot of 666, but I'm still like hallelujah, hallelujah. That was fun. I gotta say, I was expecting a little more six talk than I got. Like the six talk and like that little weird like 6666 refrain, like 666. It's placed in like the weirdest moments in this fucking album. He puts it in the middle of the song with Rihanna where they're, again, just like singing about wanting to fucking come all over each other. Really cool song. It's gonna be like the #1 song this summer, but that's what it's all about. That's what all this shit's about. And now it's in the public. Drake they want to fucking come on each other, so let them do it. I like that collaboration a lot more than the Work song on Rihanna's album. Like, a hell of a lot more. But yeah, like, why is the 6666 thing in this? Of any of the places, it's in this. 666 in the middle of like, I love your ass, or whatever he's fucking saying in it. But like, come on, what? For some reason, the Summer's Over interlude song is like one of the coolest moments on the album, maybe like the best one. I haven't even researched who this was, but it's fucking beautiful. Who is that? I need to know. Someone tell me in the comments who that is. I love hearing like the actual piano, like the tangible piano kind of beneath the beat in the song Fire and Desire. That's a pretty cool song. And I love Views as a closer. I know Hotline Bling comes after it, but it's a bonus track, even though it's not labeled as a bonus track on Apple Music yet, but it's a fucking bonus track. We all know Hotline Bling. It's obviously not the conclusion to this album. This song is like the come-up celebration, I suppose, kind of condensed into the finale. It's better than nothing, for sure, but I really do wish that songs like this and West End Road Flows were kind of the core of this album that I was promised. Views from the Six. God, by the way, slight little tangent. Rappers need to stop doing this shit. Obviously, Drake didn't do it as bad as Kanye. We just had Views from the Six and then Views, but like, just don't tell us the title until you're sure what the title is, because when it gets in my mind, I'm thinking about it, and I can't not think about it. If you look in Apple Music, in the description, they describe this album as Drake's victory lap. And I think that's very fitting. In that sense, it makes a lot more sense why this is called Views and not Views from the Six. It's to leave the concept more open and allow there to be 20 fucking songs, which, by the way, it's not necessary. This album as a whole, it isn't an ode to the city or about his come up, a celebration of his history. It's not that. It's a lot of different shit. It's kind of like the life of Drake, if you will. Similar to Life of Pablo in that sense, I suppose. A lot of what we've heard from Drake throughout his career kind of just shoved all into this giant behemoth of a thing. So if you were looking like me, I'll admit I was. If you're looking for that next step, that progression, that step forward, the next big one for Drake, that's not what you're getting here, unfortunately. And that's too bad. It is too bad that it didn't build off of If You're Reading This, Is Too Late and just kind of blow us away. But like I said, there's so much to enjoy here. The production is such a marvel, and there are some really nice lyrical moments. There are some really nice vocal moments from Drake here, and it's a totally listenable album. Like 100%, you will have a good time listening to this. And if you like Drake, and if you like corny Drakeisms, you're gonna have a lot of fun listening to this. I've had so much fun listening. Drake is like at the top of the music industry and the world right now. Like, that album cover is not even really a fucking metaphor. This is his weakest album since Take Care, but it's the victory lap. That's what it is. It's a lot of Drake, a lot of the Drake that some people love, a lot of the Drake that other people love for various different reasons. It's all here. It doesn't all work, but it's a really nice effort. I mean, obviously I really like this album. I've listened to it fucking 8 times in a day. If this were shit, I wouldn't listen to it 3 times. So take that as a big compliment. I do jam to these songs, that they're fun. You gotta check it out. You've obviously already checked it out. Everyone has. What did you guys think of Views? It's really hard for me to not call it Views from the 6. What did you guys think of Views? Let me know in the comments, and yeah, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and do whatever the fuck you want to do. I'm tired. I've been in the pizza game all day. Turn that 6 upside down, it's a 9 now. Oh, I'm not really sure who Drake is, but I'll give this one a shot. No, you know who Drake is. This is the new album. It was the most hyped thing since last week's most hyped thing with Lemonade. This album comes right after what I think is Drake's best album, which was actually the mixtape. If you're reading this, it's too late. It's not a fucking mixtape, okay? He tries to pull that bullshit with like, oh, it's a commercially released mixtape. Just like, I don't know, fuck off. It's an album, and it's your best one. I thought Drake sounded better than ever on that album. I thought his verses, his rapping was significantly better than on any of his previous projects. I did really, holy shit. I have been slinging pies all day, bacon pies, slinging pies. And Views from the 6, or sorry, Views, because it's just Views now, has been out for like 24 hours, barely. Listen, I've listened to this album 8 fucking times already. I'm ready to review it. I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready to make this video. Drake, Views. Let's fucking, you know, talk about it. Drake, Drizzy, the 6 God himself. Like, do I need to fucking say anything about Drake at this point? Is there anyone who's watching this video who's like, I like this guy's album reviews? You know, the audience perception. So, I think originally the plan was to release Views in 2015, and then that became this huge sensation, so it was kind of postponed. We got a lot of singles. We got the Hotline Bling single. We got the diss tracks, that whole beef with Meek Mill, all that shit. And finally, it's here, this 20 fucking song album, Views. I do wish it was still called Views from the 6. I mean, I know why it isn't, having heard the album very many times now, but, you know, the Views has just kind of been like the meme. I mean, Drake is kind of like the meme king. Everything Drake does is a fucking meme. But Views is kind of the meme version of what this album was gonna be. And then that ended up just being the title, so Now, in this musical age that we live in now, where all of these hyped artists are releasing all these giant fucking hyped albums, people just want to know right off the bat, is this great? Is it awesome? Does it live up to the hype? No. I don't think it lives up to the hype. I don't think it lives up to the bar that was set by If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. I just don't. I think the lyrical content here is significantly weaker and often laughably bad. And there are some tracks that are just flat out not good. I've reacted to a couple of those. Grow to Like Nothing Was the Same. After that album came out, some of my friends were like super into Drake, and I got sucked into it, and now I'm fucking here. In a sense, in terms of my appreciation for Drake, you could say I started from the bottom, and now I'm here. So originally we were actually supposed to get this in 2015, and my whole theory about that is that when Drake put out If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, he wasn't expecting it to be this massive thing that it ended up being, and have his most recognizable and best hooks and verses in terms of like